Hi, I'm Emily from Happy Houseplants, and I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for houseplants. My first would be to do your research before you buy a plant. Think about the space you want it to go in your home. Has it got lots of bright light, or is it shady? There are loads of shade tolerant plants. And think about the time you've got. How compatible is it with your lifestyle? So if you're a really busy person and you might forget to water, there are loads of plants that will forgive you for that. There are cast iron plants and cactus and succulents. And if you want to get really ambitious, go for it, but you're just going to need a bit more time to do misting and things like that. My second tip would be go to a reputable plant source. There are loads of great plant companies out there, ones that will give you really good advice, and they have great relationships with the best growers. Just when you do buy a plant, check it's not been in a dark corner and come in en masse and a bit abandoned, because it might look good in the shop, but it will probably suffer when you get it home. My next tip is when you get your plant home, keep it in the plastic pot that it's in. So then you get to keep hold of these drainage holes. Don't pot straight into a decorative pot without any drainage holes. You want the water to go down to the roots but then drain away again, so it's had a drink and the roots won't rot in here if water gets collected. And the best way to water is to, if you can, collect rainwater, or let the water, leave it overnight so that the chlorine evaporates. Also remember to dust your leaves when you get with a damp cloth when you're watering. Feel the soil when you water. It can feel really dry on top, which is fine, but stick your fingers in a couple of inches and you'll feel what's happening around the roots. It should just feel slightly damp here, not too soggy and definitely not dry, but they may look and feel on top like they need water, but once you stick your finger in, they're often still quite damp, and you can skip a week. Plants can always recover from underwatering, but it's really hard to save a plant once you've overwatered. If you have overwatered, try and repot it. That's the best thing, I'd say. Fertilise is great. So in the growing seasons, try and find an organic vegan fertiliser if you can, find best for plants, and feed them every couple of weeks or a month. All the nutrients that a plant requires is in the soil, so give it some additional when it's growing to really boost it. And then once a year, don't worry, don't be scared to repot. Just go a couple of inches bigger and give it some extra soil. Don't need to refuss, and it will love you for a new pot. The next thing is plants love stability. So if you found a spot where it's happy, try and leave it there. They get a little bit what's called transport shock when they move around. They have to get used to their new surroundings again. So just keep turning it so all sides of the plant get the light. And leave it where it is if it's happy. Within the seasons you will have to move though. If you've got a window where you've got loads of light coming in, think about the midday sun could really scorch some plants, their leaves can burn. Almost imagine if it was you sitting there all day, would you be happy there, or would you burn? And then when the sun's gone and it's getting to winter again, move all your plants as far towards the light as you can. You can get brilliant grow lights at the moment as well throughout winter. If you've got a shady corner or a difficult spot, you can just plug in your grow light and it gives the plant a real boost, gives it what it needs. Think about your radiators coming on in the winter as well. That can really dry out the air. This is great if you have a layer of pebbles in your pot and top up with water, so it's not rotting the roots, but then all the water can evaporate around the plant and increase humidity. So that's my top tips, and I hope you found it helpful. Thank you.